Hey guys! Okay, so today I am going to do a foundation review, and it is on one of my new favorite foundations, and that is the Makeup Forever Matte Velvet Plus foundation. I do have it in two shades right here. This shade is a lighter shade. It's in number 40, and this I was matched to in the winter, and then this one is number 55, which I was just recently matched to, so it's more of like my summer color. I absolutely, literally love this foundation. I think it is absolutely amazing, so I wanted to tell you guys about it. So I guess I will just start off with the basic. First off, it is a medium to full coverage foundation. That's what Makeup Forever says on the Sephora website. For me, I personally find it to be more of a medium coverage foundation. It's not as full coverage as Revlon Color Stay or the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. If you've tried either of those, you know that those are both very thick foundations, but they do give very full coverage. These are not as full coverage as those foundations, but they feel a lot nicer on the skin. And, for me, the medium coverage is good. But if you're looking for super full coverage, this probably isn't the best foundation for you. But I do think that if you built it up in layers, you would be able to make it full coverage. You would just have to use more product. And it is a mattifying foundation, so it's not dewy at all. The finish is very matte. And this foundation is definitely more marketed towards people with oily skin. I myself have dry combination skin, which basically means pretty much my entire face is dry, but I do have, sometimes I'll get a little bit of oil down my T-zone, especially around my nose, like in the summertime months, but for the most part, my face is way more dry than it is oily. And this foundation works fine for me. It actually works like amazing. So if you don't have oily skin, if you have skin more on the drier side, I still think this foundation will be amazing for you because I love it and I have dry skin. But if you have oily skin, I think this will definitely be a great foundation because I don't set it with a powder or anything like that, and it keeps me matte all day long, like no shine at all. So that is that. Definitely a matte foundation. It's medium to full coverage, like I said. As far as shade range, there are 16 shades, so it has a huge shade range. You should be able to find a shade that will work for you. Hopefully, I know the lightest one my mom actually has. My mom has really, really fair skin, and that one that actually matches her, which she has a hard time finding foundations that are light enough for her. And then they do go really dark as well. So hopefully for you, there will be a shade that will match you. As far as cost, it is high-end, so obviously it is pricey. It is $36. You can find it at Sephora. Sephora, I believe, is the only retailer of Makeup Forever products. I'm pretty sure they're exclusive to Sephora. There might be like a Makeup Forever store maybe in New York City or a big city somewhere. I'm not quite sure, but where it is most readily available would be on Sephora and Sephora.com. I know a lot of people have told me, because I have mentioned this foundation before, that they have problems finding a lot of the shades in the Sephora store. My best advice to you is if you go to your Sephora store and they're out of a lot of shades, is just to order it from Sephora.com, because I recently, just before I filmed this video, looked on Sephora.com and they are only out of one shade. One shade is out of stock on the website, but all the other shades are there. So if anything, you could try and go to the store and get matched and then buy it online if they don't actually have one to sell to you there. So yeah. The main thing I love about this foundation is just that it gives my skin enough coverage to make my skin look flawless, but it doesn't look like I'm wearing a ton of makeup, which I absolutely love about this. My favorite way to apply it is with the Beauty Blender, just because it's not a very liquidy foundation. And not that it's thick, but it is like a thicker consistency, and so I found when I tried to apply it with a flat tip kabuki, it was kind of hard to move around my face, where when I applied it with a Beauty Blender, it just applied beautifully. So that's what I like to apply it with, and it really just gives a beautiful coverage. I don't really struggle with lots of acne or like scarring or anything like that, but I am very red, so it does cover that up really well. So I really do think that it is, good. But if you're looking for super maximum coverage, again, like I said, this might not be the best foundation for you. But if you're looking for kind of medium to full coverage, not super full, but just kind of medium, this will be a great foundation for you. As far as how the Matte Velvet Plus compares to the Makeup Forever HD foundation, because I have tried both. I like the Matte Velvet Plus a lot better than the HD foundation. I still do have the HD foundation. I'm just, I don't want to return it just because I feel like I could use it, when I don't want a lot of coverage on a day like that. But I just feel like that foundation, it says it's medium coverage and it really isn't. I feel like I have to use a ton of product to build up any sort of coverage, and I feel like it makes me very greasy, which I don't really have oily skin. So, I don't know why it does that, but it doesn't really work with my skin type. I don't know what it is, but I really don't like it. The first time I tried it, I liked it, And I think that's just because when you first apply it, it looks nice, but then like after like an hour, like it looks like you have nothing on your face. It just doesn't stay at all, even when you set it with a powder. So I just wouldn't recommend that foundation, but the Matte Velvet Plus I would absolutely recommend. I'm wearing it right now. I've been wearing it like every day, especially when I want a really flawless look to my face. It just is really beautiful, and it has, I don't know what it is in it that just makes your face look so flawless, but it's not like you have caked on makeup. Like, you can still see your skin underneath, but it still looks flawless. Like, it just, this is really the first foundation that I found that does that for me, because like I used to really love Revlon Color Stay, and it did make my face look really flawless, but you couldn't see any of my natural skin underneath it. It was just like a mask almost, which this really, really isn't. So that's why I really have been loving it. And yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that I could tell you guys about it that you might want to know. Like I said, medium to full coverage, a matte finish. It has 16 shades, so there is a shade for everybody, hopefully. And I have used this foundation with and without a primer, and I haven't really seen a huge difference. It has a really long lasting power, which I love. I can put it on in the morning, and when I go to bed at night, my makeup really does not look that much different, which is amazing, even when I don't set it with a powder. Obviously, it does last longer when I set it with a powder, but even when I don't, it still looks amazing at night when I'm ready to take my makeup off and I've had it on all day. So it definitely is super long lasting, which is another great aspect of it. And you don't have to use a lot of it, because it's 1.01 fluid ounces. So since you don't have to use a lot of it, it should last you a really long time. But like the Makeup Forever, the HD foundation, that was the same amount. I think it was actually just 1 fluid ounce, and you have to use so much of it. So I feel like I would if I used it on a daily basis, I would go through it so fast. So that's why I definitely prefer this foundation. And then as far as just like logistics and what's actually in the foundation, it is oil-free and water-resistant, which I thought was really cool. I actually haven't tried out the water-resistant part of it, just because, you know, when I go to the pool or the beach, I don't really wear makeup. But I think that's really cool in case you're one of those girls that likes to have a little bit of coverage or whatever when she goes to the beach or the pool. This might be a good option for that as well, because it is water resistant. And yeah, on the back, all it says is shake before use, which I do always do, just because I think like a lot of times foundations can like kind of separate in the bottle if you leave them for a while. So just shake it up real fast before you put it on, and then everything will be okay. But yeah, it's oil free, so if you have acne prone skin, it should be okay for you and hopefully not make you break out. So yeah, that is really all I can say about the foundation. I really do love it, and I feel like it is definitely going to quickly become one of my holy grails. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!